Right, people, we're back and it is game day. We've got new microphones. Beth keeps hold of the microphones that we normally use. So I went and got some for myself so you guys don't have to listen to that horrific background noise that you get in my AirPods because they are very old and going out of date. But alas, back to the game. It is Gillingham versus Dartford. Pre-season friendly again. We are away at Dartford. Coming in off the back of 2 losses against Millwall and Charlton. I want to see the Gills get back to winning ways today, 100%. We're currently in the car. About a 5-minute walk away from the stadium. We're going to make our way there now. Hopefully, go and see the Gills win. Obviously, our last win came against Como, which was the 1-0 win. Since then, we've lost 2-0 to Millwall and 3-1 to Charlton, which, of course, disappointing results. But if you look at the opposition, you look at the games, we haven't played exactly bad. As to what Neil's going to go with the side today, I think it may be a bit rotated from the game against Charlton. I'd imagine it will be. I'm hoping we see Ollie Hawkins back in the squad today. Should be back from injury, something you guys never thought I'd say. Without further ado, we're going to make our way to the stadium and give more thoughts at halftime. I haven't seen a team sheet yet, so if I do see a team sheet before I go into the stadium, I'll do a little bit on the team. Right then, I've just gone on Twitter and seen the team sheet straight away. So, it is a much changed side. We see Turner starting goal again. Alexander Amer, the new lad, Oggy. I'm going to call him Oggy, and I'm probably got it wrong, but we're going to call him Oggy. Matt Clark, Sean Williams, Tim Dieng, Lapsley, Jeffries, Clark, and the big news is Bode starting up front. I'm quite happy to see that. I'm hoping it will give him a chance to show what he's really capable of against teams at Vanarama South level. I think he could probably do with a loan move out to a Vanarama South side, so that's really nice, really good to see. I'm happy to see him getting a start. Nichols on the bench. No Ollie Hawkins in the squad. Without further ado, we're going to make our way to the stadium. There we have it, half-time here at Dartford, 3-0 to the Gills. Sean Williams with the first and the third, and Tim Dieng with a lovely little finish for the second. It's been so good so far for the Gills. I think we've been a better side, but it's to be expected. There's not really much else you can say on it apart from we've definitely been the better side, deserving a lead. Sean Williams' third goal was an absolute beauty. First one, massive deflection, and Tim Dieng's was a great little finish, great little bit of play by the Gills. Sean Williams is third. He's lost his marker well at the corner and headed in to make it 3-0 to the Gills. The only person that's really disappointed is probably Bode up front. I think he's looked a bit lost. His runs haven't been quite there. I don't think his movement's good enough. I don't think he's been good enough at all. I'm hoping to see him a little bit in the second half, see if maybe Harris says something to him, but I just don't think he's been good enough. I think there's been times where his pass has been loose, he's been loose, and he's made the wrong decision. He showed a lot of inexperience for a player that's been on a couple of loans and played quite a bit of first-team football out on those loans. So I would like to see a little bit more from him. I'd say this is probably more his level than League Two. So you'd like to think he would be one of the stand-up performances. But Jaden Clark's looked fantastic. The new lad, I think his name's Ogie, by the way, has played really, really well. And overall, it's been really good. Turner's made a fantastic save from them at 3-0. And it's just not blown me away. I know we're 3-0 up, but it's not blown me away. It's been a bit... It's felt like a pre-season game, this one. Yeah, it's felt like a pre-season game, this one. Definitely could be better. There's definitely areas where I think we can improve. Dom Jeffries and Matt Clark have been linking up really, really well. I just think maybe if Nichols was on the pitch, I'd be saying something completely different. But I just think Bode at the forefront of the attack hasn't good enough. I think even though we are 3-0 up, it's highlighted that we maybe need that out-and-out striker who would be possibly further than lead here. All I can say from Dartford point of view as well is they should have had 2 penalties. Shea blocking crosses with his hands, 2 occasions. The ball's come in and it's struck his hand. And I think in league games, they're given. They're definitely given with VAR. Obviously, we're not going to get that here. But league games are definitely given. And they should have been given here. If they're not given for us, we're screaming at the rafters. Definitely 2 penalties there for them. Just more of the same in the second half. I'll catch up with you guys after the game. Right then, that's game done, full time. We're back in the car. We're going to drive home. It started raining, which is always lovely. Gills wound up 5-0 winners in the end. 2 goals, obviously, in the second half. Bode, I know I gave him a bit of stick half time. He looked better in the second half. I just feel he's not quite there. His movement isn't quite there. A couple of chances in the second half. He did it at the post, but it took a deflection. Look, I don't want to be critical. I think there is potentially a good player in there, but he does need a little bit more time to develop, in my opinion. But overall, really good performance from the Gills. I thought Jaden Clark was absolutely fantastic today. He got a goal as well. Johnny Williams, when he came on, assisted the Jaden Clark goal. We'll give him that it was a pass, but we all know that he was probably trying to shoot. Ogie, I'm going to go with Ogie. And until I hear someone else say his name, we're going with Ogie. Looked really good. Played a couple of really nice passes. For the 4th goal, it was a crossfield pass into Che, who then crossed it in into Dom Jeffries' back stick. Fantastic pass in the first instance by Ogie. I think he played really well. I think he did play really well in the end. So overall, really happy with the performance. Clean sheet. Went and did what we were supposed to do. Yeah, did what everyone expected us to do today. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to do a lot for us, but to score 5 goals is fantastic. Now we've got to take that into, there's a game behind closed doors, I believe, against Cambridge on Tuesday. Then the final pre-season friendly against Dagenham away next Saturday. And no sign of a striker on the horizon. I haven't heard any rumours. I haven't heard if we're linked to anyone at this point, which worries me. I think we do need that striker through the door, but I'm sure Neil knows what he's doing. Today really did show that we do have goals in the rest of the team from elsewhere. Jaden Clark definitely, Dom Jeffries as well. So it's not something to be overly worried about if we haven't got one for the start of the season, but I think I would prefer us to have one for the start of the season. Other than that, I think we're pretty sound. I'm really happy with the squad as it is. I just think we need to add that striker, and if we can add Scott Malone as well, or another left back, right back, I think that's a squad ready for the season, 100%. Yeah, not much else to really add. I think there was a Dartford maybe, I don't want to say lost their heads, but lost that desire towards the end of the game. You know, you're 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 down at the end of the game. Like, you're going to, our keeper's made a really, really good save from Jaden Clark as well. He's also made a save from Bode. The header wasn't a hard one, but, you know, there are, I don't say there's not positives for Dartford's sake. I think you could just tell the difference in level between the two teams when that final whistle blew. On to the next for the Gills. Obviously, the Cambridge one is behind closed doors. I will potentially be doing the training, open training session that was announced. I'm not 100% sure. Dagenham, I will 100% be there. And then we will look forward to the first game of the season away against Stockport. I already have my tickets. Beth is going to be joining me there. Now we're getting back into the season. We should hopefully be seeing a lot more of Beth. Obviously, for her to travel down from Newcastle she's got quite a bit going on as well, isn't really viable. We should be seeing her after this clip. We're going to record sort of our Sunday review after this, so you got a lot to look forward to. You are going to see her face in this video. It will just be after mine. But yeah, we will see her back for the Stockport game and possibly the Southampton game, but we're not 100% sure. She's going to let me know on that one. But she will be back. She will be back rather shortly. And without further ado, I'm actually going to pass over to the both of us now.
Right. Thanks, Alex, in the car, for passing over. This is the second time we tried to do this because Beth is an idiot and didn't set out right. Are we working this time? Is it actually?
We should be.
Okay, right. We're going to go with it. If it's not working this time, then this part might never be seen. So, anyways, without further ado, you've all heard from me. So we're going to get Beth's thoughts on where she thinks we're at and the 3 games that we've had. So I guess we'll start chronologically with Millwall. What was your reaction after that?
Yeah, look, I wasn't expecting much Millwall off the back of an alright season, I guess, didn't they? Obviously, league above. Oh, sorry, 2 leagues above. I think we're better than we are. Yeah, I wasn't expecting much, and especially with the lack of, I guess, strike force in the squad. Ollie Hawkins out injured. Lewis Walcott injured. Yeah, we was just really reliant on Nichols. It kind of felt so. I didn't really expect too much off the back of it, and I guess to only really concede 2 is not anything to turn your nose at. And we have to also remember that it had only been like a day or 2 since the players had just got back from Como. They had their flight delays and stuff like that. It's probably just a busy week. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much, and I'll take a 2-0 loss and move on to the next one,
Okay. Moving on, Charlton. A bit worse of a result. What was your reaction?
I feel, I guess mathematically they're kind of the same, if we're looking at goals.
Not very good, are they?
But 2 and 2, but yeah, I probably did expect a little bit more out of the Charlton game. I know we scored in this one, which maybe is the little bit more that I'm talking about. But again, I think the issue does just come down to the fact that we don't have that extra help up top at the minute to help out Nichols. I know we'll get on to the Dartford game, and we exhibited that we can score goals from a variety of positions on the pitch, but I think that's just what it's crying out for. Obviously, I feel like the Charlton game was always going to be a bit of a tense one with the Alfie May saga that kind of went on. But yeah, it just is what it is. I try not to think too much into pre-season, I know Neil probably hasn't, put out a squad that consists of his entire starting 11 that's going to take place, on the first day of the season. So I'm not overthinking it, but I think it is clear, if there's anything to take away from those games, the Millwall and Charlton, is that we need someone up top, whether that be for depth because Neil is reliant on Hawkins and Nichols doing the job, or to come in and start week in, week out. We need something, and I think we need something fast as well.
Okay, and then moving on to the game that I was just at. It was actually yesterday, but we'll say just at. Fine. What was your reactions to that? Obviously 5 goals going in against lesser opposition, but still 5 goals.
Yeah, I think you said it before. Dartford maybe 2 leagues below, but they're not at the bottom, the bottom pack of that 2 leagues below. They are, one of the top of the table teams. So, I feel like it wouldn't have been fair to write them off automatically, but it is a game that I think everyone expected to win, unlike the Millwall and Charlton, where we probably were okay, not okay, but didn't really expect to go and win 5-0, like Dartford. But maybe going off the back of those 2 games into the Dartford games, a lot of people didn't expect such a one-sided scoreline as such, just because we were missing, like I keep saying, that additional striker. But I think it just goes to show that we do have a lot of quality in the team. Williams buzzing for him to get 2 goals. Jeffries, Jaden Clark, and obviously your favourite, Dieng. Yeah, I think that is a good and what's the word? A professional performance from the boys.
Yeah, I think I didn't say it in the clips before. The one thing that I said it at half time, it felt like a pre-season game, and then I've also put over in the caption because it was a pre-season game. But I feel like people will understand what I mean in the fact that Millwall game there was a little bit more to it. Charlton game as well, it felt a little bit more than just a pre-season game. That one just felt like a dead rubber pre-season game. But the boys, to give them their credit, were professional. They didn't take the piss. They still played exactly how you'd expect them to play. It was enjoyable to watch, obviously, to score 5 goals, but just felt a bit pre-season.
When was the last time we scored 5 goals in a game? Like, whether it be pre-season or not.
You'll have to VAR check that because I haven't got a clue.
I feel like it's probably a while ago.
Okay, we're both obviously in a rush at the moment because we just spent half an hour recording for you guys and Beth screwed it up. Well, actually, Beth's computer screwed it up. We'll give you your computer the credit of it. Just quickly on Ogie. Mm-hmm. I think that's again, I don't know how to say it, but we're going to say Ogie. Obviously, I watched him at Dartford, thought he was fantastic. What's your reaction to the sign? We've obviously not done a video since he signed, so...
Yeah, look, I didn't really expect to sign another centre-back, if I'm honest. And, you know, he's only 21, so he's still got, like, a lot of time to develop, but he does have League 2 experience, you know. I think he only managed 10 appearances in the Leyton Orient side last season, but I think it was over 30 the season before. So he has got experience at this level. So for me, it's a question of does he start or does he not start, you know? But I can't imagine someone who's come off the back of, granted, with only 10 appearances to his name during it, off winning the league, is going to sign for a club where he's a bench warmer. You know, it's very rare that, you know, in football, the 60-minute, the sub that you're going to make is your centre-back, right? So as a defender, I feel like those places you really have to fight for. But I can't see Neil, as it stands, drop in Masterson or drop in Amar. And I know you mentioned it about the potential of playing a back 5. But I also feel like, you know, assuming we do manage to get another striker in before the season starts, we have a lot of quality at the top end of the pitch as well. So I think it's a really good signing. And off the back of people's comments as how we played yesterday at Dartford, a smart signing as well. But it's just where is he going to fit in? Do we alter our formation, or does he take the spot of, I'm going to assume, Amar over Masterson, because I can't imagine we've jumped through all the hoops to get him through the door to have him on the bench as well.
Yeah, I see. Look, it'll either be back 5 occasionally, and we know that Neil's not against playing a back 5, so I see that happening at times, or it'll be rotation with Amar. So we've got the nature of the beast. If you're watching this and you're not a fan of League 2, then 1, why are you watching this? 2, welcome. We've got a few where we're playing Saturday, Tuesday. We'll have a lot of cup games in on the Tuesday nights. Mm-hmm. So we'll get appearances, and it might just be that he's in rotation and there's a long-term replacement for Max. He's only 21, still young. I do see Max probably leaving come the end of this season, maybe next. So maybe it's a long replacement.
A long-term kind of fix, and I guess if he is available to get now, take the punt.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, one thing we've discussed as well is it's kind of hard to say and make predictions onto where he's going to fit into the team, because we've not seen what we think is going to be Neil's starting 11 for the first game of the season yet. And I know there's a lot of questions being thrown around about who's going to start and what that first game is going to look like for us. It just kind of feels like it's all up in the air at the minute.
Yeah, it's been the most frustrating part of the last 3 games for me is that we can't tell what he wants to start with, and we're 2 weeks away from one of the biggest games of the season, right? For me personally, it's the biggest game of the season, but overall, in terms of the league, where everyone's expected to be, Stockport away, is a massive game, and it's come at the first game of the season. So looking to the week ahead, these next 2 games, Cambridge behind closed doors, Dagenham away, he needs to go with a full strength team and play them as proper games. With the week ahead, what's your expectations? What would you like to see?
Yeah, look, I know Cambridge is behind closed doors, but I know games like that are kind of not treated as serious as the others, kind of like a training match, I guess. But that for me is the one that I would like Neil to start implementing what he thinks his starting 11 is going to be and is going to look like with or without this striker that we're hoping to bring in, right? Because I feel like Cambridge, out of all the teams that we're going to be playing and have played in pre-season, they're the team that I guess are closest to us in a way. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, and if you're a Cambridge fan, and this is entirely incorrect, I believe they are one of the more favoured sides to go down this season. And we're obviously one of the more favoured sides to go up from League Two, right? So I feel like in that sense, we're kind of evenly matched on where we are on the football pyramid, right? So I feel like that one will be a good indication as to where we and the squad are at, assuming Neil plays our best 11. Dagenham as well, obviously the last pre-season friendly, last chance for fans to get along before we head to Stockport. So I would like to see that one as well being treated as kind of like a proper match. We played Dagenham last season and it was a bit of a shit show, for lack of a better word. So it would be nice to see how our starting 11 has developed on from that, and hopefully we don't make as much of a meal out of it and we keep that professionalism that, we kind of displayed at Dartford.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing that we are expecting next week to kind of close off is a signing, maybe 2. Neil's said that there's still a couple working on it. Expect one to sign next week. Who you hoping it is, and what do you want to see if it is a signing? If it's not Scott Malone, because everyone seems to think it's going to be Scott Malone. If it's not Scott Malone, who do you think it's going to be?
I do think Scott Malone will be one of the 2. Especially with the season fast approaching now. I think he fit nicely in with the boys out in Italy. I know he's been playing a game, miss a game, playing a game, miss a game. I don't know if that's just to give actual players that are signed proper minutes. Who knows? But I would like to see him on board. And then obviously, as every other Gills fan, I want a striker. Who that may be, at this point, I don't really care. I feel like since the start of last year, you could go back and watch our Salford video or a couple of videos just after the Salford vlog, right? And I think we've both said since then, a striker in the summer. That's the main thing. And so to be this close and to not have that bit of business done is frustrating. I feel like we wasted, at this point, a lot of time on Alfie May. I know you have to kind of put the time in to reap the rewards, but in this instance, we've kind of just reaped the consequences of it, I suppose. But yeah, that's for me who I would like to see in the door. What about yourself?
Striker, obviously. I said it in my clip in my car that I'm pretty happy with the business. I'm happy with the squad as a whole as it is now. Add Scott Malone, I'm even happier. Give me a striker, and running around my office come Monday after Stockport singing that we're going to win the league. That's where I'm at right now. As to who that striker will be, a lot of Gills fans think we're down and out. All of these strikers have gone. 2 names that I've still thrown about, not necessarily linked with Gills, but linked with League Two moves. Joe Pigott, Mike Horn, both fantastic strikers. I wouldn't say either of them are 20-goal strikers, but they're more than do your job, right? So if I put both on the table right now, you can take Joe Pigott or Mike Horn. Who are you taking?
feel like I'd probably take Piglet. You'd take Wagon, wouldn't you?
I would, but there's other reasons behind why I'd take Waghorn. I prefer him as a player. No, saying that, I probably would take Pigs. I was at Maidstone at the same time that Pigs was down there.
It's got that link.
He's got the... Just put that one in there, obviously. Just put that one in there. It's got to be done. No, but there's a reason. He was the only one you'd ever see doing extra training. Him and Dan Sweeney, who now plays at Stevenage off the top of my head. So you can see why they've gone where they've gone. And look, if you take away the Maidstone connection, it'd probably be the best of the bunch left. So, but I wouldn't say no to Waghorn. He's a fantastic player. I think he'd complement Hawkins and Nichols quite well and can play sort of off the striker and as a striker. So, happy with either. But I think that probably closes off quite nicely.
I think it does.
Perfect. I don't think there's going to be a video on Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There is a video on Wednesday. We have a little bit more Como content coming. A little bit more Como content coming your way. How exciting. The Como stuff is not done. We are rinsing that.
Okay, that's all on you because I'm very busy up until Thursday, which is why I said it. But I remember the video now.
Actually, speaking on that, it may not be Wednesday, depending if I have time to get it done. Hopefully Monday I will, but I'm moving house on Wednesday, so I'm super busy.
Okay.
But
there is another Como video coming at some point in the week. And then obviously Sunday we'll have the Dagenham and then probably mix that in with a season preview if you've got time.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good. As always, up the Gills.
Up the Gills.